you're working with. To the right, to the left. I can't stop, let's lose ourselves. To the right, to the left. I think we got a little situation. To the right, to the left. Show me what you're working with. To the right, to the left. I can't stop, let's lose ourselves. To the right, to the left. I think we got a little situation. We got a little situation. We got a little situation.
Very good morning. Welcome to Les Sables de Lawn. A little bit foggy, a little bit misty, a little bit of a contrast from yesterday, and the sunshine was out in the afternoon. So I'm joined by Pip here, none other than Pip, who was racing closely with Romain Attanasio when she lost her mast. So Pip, how are you?
Good morning, Andy. I'm well. I'm back in pool now, but kind of it's really great to be here and celebrate Romain's arrival with him in a fantastic 14th position.
He's looking in good shape. He's got a full spectator fleet out. He is the first skipper for a number of skippers to be able to cross the normal finish line. Is to say at the Nush Sud mark. We've been on the storm finish line for a few days, but great moments for Romain.
Yeah, it's really nice to see conditions where a fleet can come out and give him that proper welcome. You can see he's still quite vigilantly kind of looking around his boat, and I always find these moments are a little bit kind of strange for the skipper because you've been so intensely watching the boat, watching the data, watching the sails on your own for ages, and then all of a sudden there's people all around you and you're kind of never really sure whether to give them attention, whether to kind of carry on just in your own zone, being the person that you are. And you can see Romain's just looking after his boat, really. I think he's probably just really wants to get to that finish line as soon as possible, and not be too distracted by all the boats around him.
Indeed, you'll have the finish line as is the next waypoint, they'll have had that for some considerable time. It's been quite light overnight. This breeze has filled in nicely this morning, but the boat looks to be in pretty good shape, Pip. And so is Romain. This is his third consecutive finish. That's quite a record.
Yeah, it really is. It's and he's all the way through. Kind of each time he's improving before changing his boats. This is kind of his third boat in the Vendée. So he purchased this boat after finishing in 2021. It's a 2016 VPLP design with big foils that were originally put in by its previous owner. Boris Herman. So you can see there he's having a good chat with his team. You can see from here, even you can see Romain smile. He's got a great smile. He's such a cheerful person. I'm sure he's really excited to see the team.
Yes, he lives his race with us. He shares the ups and downs, and he's got a certain kind of gallows humour, hasn't he? He can always laugh at the tough times as well as the good times. And of course, not long. It was only 2 months before the start of his race. He lost his mast. He was dismasted. There was a real panic, a real stress to get a replacement mast and actually get on the start line, Pip.
Yes, I mean the huge effort that not just his team, but there was a real kind of community that came together to make sure that Romain did get back on that start line. I think his mast was the spare mast of Maxime Sorel. Lots of teams were in contact to donate spares, to donate labour. You know, he's a very, very well liked and respected member of the fleet, and losing your mast just 2 months before the start of the Vendée was a really difficult thing to happen, to get everything back up and running again. So I'm sure his whole team are really, really pleased to see him now.
He's had no significant technical problems. Unlike his certainly his first race, he had a big problem with his rudder off the Cape of Good Hope, and had to stop for 4 days while he replaced his rudder. And otherwise, this race has been fairly straightforward.
Yeah, I understand. Obviously, kind of him and Benjamin were my closest competitors on the water for the half of the race that I did, and we exchanged messages for a while. And you know, there were a few little niggles with the boat, but he was pretty happy with it. And the immense strain and stresses that get put on these boats in the Southern Ocean are absolutely huge. You're just listening all the time to these sounds of cracking and creaking, and it's a worry. So yeah, to get one of these around the world in the conditions we've had is a huge testament to him and his team.
And it's interesting to note that he just, although he can probably just about see the line or know exactly where the line is, he still checks his instruments to see the exact distance, and just enjoying that moment as the distance counts down to the finish line, as much as being able to enjoy the moment with his friends and family out on the water. And of course, he's got a nice, a good news from in the middle of December. It was confirmed to him that he's going to be a father for the second time, and the father of another boy.
Oh, that's just amazing to be coming home to something like that. And yeah, you can see kind of the boats around him. He's giving people away, but kind of as you said, keep checking the. Oh, that's a message from the race committee there. But keeping on checking the instruments, you've got this. You know, you're always kind of worried that you're going to mess it up at the last minute. And I was messaging with him last night saying, yeah, you're nearly there. And he was like, no, it's not done yet. It's not done yet. And we all feel like that till we cross the line.
Especially in this kind of fog, you know, that's just a little bit unsettling, isn't it? He knows exactly where it's...
Well, and you need to remember that kind of the whole time you're sailing in the Vendée Globe, you're avoiding the land. You know, you go anywhere to avoid the land, to avoid the bad weather, and now he's pointing at the land in fog. So everything that he's been kind of not doing for the last 3 months he's now having to do. So yeah, you do check your instruments often.
As he's just done, but to say it's a little bit of visual checking, trying to see into the fog and checking his instruments. And he's got a great team round about him who've worked hard at supporting him, I'm quite sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think just kind of these conditions, this flat water, to be able to accompany him on those last 5 miles is really special.
Just getting a shimmer of sunshine. This is just has been since the early morning here, and it's probably been a pretty cold night for him.
Oh, I'm sure it's been brutally cold. Wonder what he's asking there. Where's the line?
So where am I? La Rochelle.
So I think he's probably talking about how he's going to go through the line and what he's going to do to get the team on board afterwards, because of course there's not a huge distance between the finish line and the shore, and if there's fog and you've got to get your team on board and kind of get the sails down, get everyone on safely, you need to have a plan. Even though he's not going massively fast, you still need to have a plan in place so everyone knows exactly what they're doing as soon as you've crossed the line.
Indeed, that's the race direction rib just beside him. Hubert Lemonnier was a race director talking to him, and Jacques Carré is driving the rib, I think. But our support boats from Beneteau either side flanking him as he comes in to the finish line. A very respectable race, very respectable time, Pip.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Kind of anywhere near the 80-day mark definitely is a good time. And he's had a really difficult ascent of the Atlantic, as so many people have. It's been a brutal last 3 to 4 weeks of the race for many people. And Romain got quite disappointed kind of with the doldrums. He got really stuck there, and I think for a while was worried about kind of safeguarding his 14th position, but he managed to pull away in the North Atlantic and has a reasonable gap between him and the next boat behind him.
Yeah, it's about 350 miles or so yesterday. So they can afford to relax and enjoy the finish.
And I'm sure his sponsors. So I'm sure his sponsors are going to be really happy with this result and with the way that he's kind of carried himself all the way through this race. It's the first time that FORTINET have been involved in sailing sponsorship, and they came in after the last Vendée to join Best Western, and that allowed him to upgrade to the big foil boat.
They're an international company. He's had to do a little bit more English this time.
Yes, yeah, and it's really great to see more international sponsors getting involved in the MOCA fleet. You know, we're really taking it to the rest of the world, and kind of people are becoming very interested in this growing and dynamic fleet. Looks like it is actually getting more foggy at the moment as they get closer to the shore.
But at this time, you say he's just counting down the miles. I think he had 2 or 3 miles when we went live.
And it is just, I mean, it is completely nerve-wracking sailing a boat like that into thick fog. And I think kind of in this situation, he can have reasonable confidence that people know he's coming and will be picked up by kind of his own AIS and radar, but you never take anything like this for granted. It makes your nerves jangle even in a circumstance like this.
But he was pretty good in the south, wasn't he, Romain and Benjamin? They were quite close for quite a long time, weren't they?
Yeah, the three of us had some really close racing in the Indian Ocean, and we all kind of chose a more southerly route. We split from Damien Sagan in Apacil quite early in the Indian Ocean, and I was actually pretty much side by side with Romain for the day before I dismasted. And I know kind of when I dismasted, both him and Benjamin were really kind of shocked and a little bit tentative for a while. But then they obviously sped off, and Benjamin managed to make the leap to the group ahead. But Romain kind of always kept his pace on.
That's right. I think he was was not as fortunate in the South Atlantic, was he? Benjamin
No.
caught up there.
Yeah, Romain really had a difficult South Atlantic, and kind of just ended up with a bit of a bad luck as well in terms of the weather, and it does have something to do with it.
But we said before that our race direction team have a great relationship, mutual respect between the skippers and race direction. And I think it's really lovely that they're out there on the water, bringing them in to the finish line in this instance, as they've done every time. Just that duty of care extends right to the finish line on a very personal level.
Oh, it really does. You know, I think the race committee for this race are incredible. They work so hard. They really take the effort to care for every single skipper wherever you are on the track. You know, they're always watching you. The minute you're slightly off course or you're going a bit slow, you know they've got your back, and they are so happy as anybody out there to see competitors come safely home. And they value your performance. You really feel like a valued competitor wherever you are in the fleet.
Should not be too long now before Romain gets through the finish line, but Romain was a little bit of a rebel as a youngster, wasn't he? I think he grew up in the mountains, and his first love was really the mountains and skiing, wasn't it? And then he sailed with his great uncle, I think.
Yeah, that's right. He went on kind of adventure holidays, really, with his great uncle, and fell in love with sailing then, and the freedom of it, and I think just saw incredible opportunity. So yeah, although he was probably born to be a skier, he chose the water instead. I think he still enjoys the mountains, but he's made a really long and good career on the water in Brittany.
And he's another one you can imagine being back in 4 years' time. He's ticked all the boxes this time, I think, in terms of everything, really. He's communicated well. He's got good support. Technically, he's got a good program and a relatively modest budget. And I'd imagine he'd want to step up again.
Absolutely. I understand his plan is to continue for another 4 or 6 years, and like many other teams, he's looking at an ocean race entry as well. So he's looking at growing his team. They've demonstrated what they can do. They've demonstrated their strength both on performance and technical side of things. Romain, as you say, has really stepped up, especially in his English language communication, and so yeah, they've got a good path ahead of them.
You've been helping him with that.
Well, I'm not sure that our exchange of text messages is
repeatable.
Is what the sponsor. Do you know what? He's got such a good sense of humour, and you know, he's a really kind person too, and so yeah, he'll always come back to you with a kind word or a fun message, and he's definitely kind of one of the skippers out there who makes a big effort to build community.
And he's very humble. You know, there's no airs and graces. There's no ego with him, is there?
No, not at all. I remember first having a conversation with him when I was changing up to big foils, and I was asking him, you know, how he was finding it with the big foils, what it was like, and he just said most of the time I'm absolutely terrified, but when you get too scared, then you just pull the foil in a bit. And he just kind of made everything all right for me for me to have my own concerns and worries and to give it a go.
So that message that just coming up on the screen a few seconds ago, just saying that Romain's channel will be this afternoon at 16:25, starting from 16:25 French time, 15:25 in UTC world. Yannick Bestaven is not too far behind. He's of course out of the race, but has sailed back from Ashuya single-handed. We're just waiting now. Then the VHF of the race committee.
You can see on the back. See on the back of the
yes.
boat the weed. Oh, you can see the weed growing on the back of his boat there. Just shows you how long he's been out there.
It's so much a matter of luck. January, February, we've seen everything over the years, from the big storms. It was unprecedented with Clarice and Benjamin the other day having to go to La Rochelle. We've seen skippers coming across in Indian summer conditions, but at the end of the day, it's just about getting across the line and completing the circle.
And we always attribute the really big bad weather to the Southern Ocean, but actually really forget that how changeable the North Atlantic is at this time of year, and it can dish up absolutely anything. So, you know, there are absolutely no givens for finishing this race. You've got to remain alert and ready for anything. So he looks like he thinks he might be approaching the finish line.
He's going to go and check again. How far am I?
It must be the most surreal feeling, though, sailing around the world and not being sure when you actually have sailed around the world. All that time.
When you get through the finish line, there you just see boat name still on the back, Malizia 2. As Pip said, this was the boat of Boris Herman, which of course hit a fishing boat on the last night in the last race.
Yeah, which is why everyone knows they have to stay vigilant. So this angle, you can just see all the names on the mast. So those are people who donated to a crowdfund to get his mast back up again after it fell in November. Yeah, go on, Romain, you're nearly there.
200 meters from the finish line.
Oh, we can see the buoy there, yeah.
There's the buoy there. Fantastic. What a great moment for Romain Attanasio. Then takes 14th place, 83 days to mature.
Oh, look at him.
Job is done. Big cheers and a big thank you. That's exactly what we're saying. Big thank you to all these people who supported him. A very emotional moment for him, and a thanks to the mast, I think, as much as anything.
Oh, I am so happy to see that. He's really deserved that 14th place. Third finish of the Vendée Globe. It's incredible.
Tu reçois un terrain en direction de quoi? Ouais, c'est ça, regarde. Ouais, donc écoute, quand vous pouvez monter à bord, pas de problème.
Great job, Romain Attanasio. Many congratulations for his race, his third Vendée Globe finish in a row, and that alone is a fantastic record.
À toutes les unités, donc merci en fonction du bateau.
In terms of his finish,
l'équipe technique va monter à bord.
time 11:58 and 18 seconds.
Ainsi que les bateaux presse, staff ou autres, SR. Merci de bien garder vos distances.
So the first people on board the boat, and it is a bit strange when people get on the boat, they kind of don't really know what to do. It's someone else's boat, it's their domain.
And you don't let them touch anything, do you?
Well, I remember when I finished in 2021, kind of everyone jumped on the boat and then they all looked at me and didn't know what to do. It's strange.
Romain getting a big hug from his team.
Oh,
Looks
you
so
can
happy.
see his smile from here. They all look happy. And everyone feels this achievement. You know, there's so many people have worked to make this happen, and everyone feels the same joy and the same, you know, just, I guess, a feeling of success and pride.
And relief.
And relief, a huge relief. Yeah, definitely. And the boat really does look good from here.
But that stress is with you all the way to the finish line, and it takes time for that to diminish, doesn't it?
It does. Again, kind of, you know, the only relative point I have was finishing in 2021, and in the last 24 hours, I just became absolutely convinced that my mast was going to fall down or I wasn't going to finish the race. And I know my shore team felt the same, and I kind of didn't really relax until I was actually well into the channel and knew nothing could go wrong from there. So there'll be a number of things going on. So they're down below now checking, for example, his engine seal, just to make sure that's still in place. They'll be checking the seals on his anchors and all the kit that you're not allowed to move, just to sign all of that off. And as he's turned downwind, the boat's not making too much ground now, so they've got a bit of sea room to get the sails down, and then he's got a bit of waiting to do before he goes down the channel.
I think he'll enjoy that time as long as he stays warm. But I think probably the mist will hopefully burn off for the afternoon. So he'll come in at the back of 3 local time. But anyway, for those of you who need to know, the finish time for Romain Attanasio, Fortinet Best Western is 11:50.18 French time, 10:50.18 UTC. His elapsed time for the race is 83 days, 22 hours, 48 minutes. And his delta to the first place, Charlie Dallin, is 19 days, 3 hours and 25 minutes. And he's 3 days and 34 minutes behind Sam Davis. And for those of you who are really the geeks, he sailed 28,898 miles at 14.34 knots, and on the theoretical course 11.86 knots. But enjoying his close family and friends coming on board. A little bit surreal when everybody's so togged up in their life jackets and everything, isn't it?
Yeah, and I don't know how long they've been waiting out in the cold to give him a hug, but I'm sure it was worth the wait. Oh, that's so good to see. And really nice that he's coming in on a Sunday afternoon as well, because you imagine there's going to be a decent crowd down for the weekend to see him come in. A good, really good welcome home.
People really have been down for the weekend. They enjoyed Clarissa's finish, our arrival yesterday, and Benjamin, of course, Friday night was absolutely off the scale. I'm not sure that Ben is sobered up yet, but I'm sure he'll be on the pontoon to welcome Romain. And of course, there'll be the big crowd will stay for Yannick Bestaven, who's done such a great job at sailing his boat back after he had his mechanical problems, which required him to stop not long after Cape Horn. Really respected past winner of the Vendée Globe, and he won't cross the finish line, but he will come in and be afforded a full channel return this afternoon.
And that again that's a really great thing for Yannick to be able to do that. But kind of for now, just seeing Romain and his team all laughing and enjoying being together is just a really great end to an epic race for him.
Indeed, he has time to decompress and share the memories and catch up with everything that's been happening on land while he's been away. He'll have a little bit of something to eat. He's looking forward to his steak and chips when he comes ashore in the afternoon. But we'll have his channel live from 15:25 French time. But so do join us then. Join us in the last English live program will be online at 13:30 UTC. We'll be joined by Clarice Kramer. But in the meantime, thank you so much for joining us. And Pip here will be on with us later in the afternoon for Roman's channel. We'll speak to you then, and we'll see you then. Thank you.
don't pick up my calls. I could really use a sign to keep me going. Oh, give you everything, but you limit your love. Miss you instinct. Now the moment's over. Coming to my senses. Wish that I would cut it out. Loving you is tempting. Lost in the escape right now. I crossed the oceans using
So it's turned out for a beautiful Sunday afternoon here in Les Sables d'Olonne, waiting for the arrival of Romain Attanasio, who finished 14th in the Vendée Globe. There's his time, 83 days, 22 hours, 48 minutes, finishing this morning in the chilly sea fog that has rolled back. In fact, you can see it just out to sea there, and Romain approaching the channel. I'm joined this afternoon once again by Pip here. Pip, what a beautiful afternoon to welcome Romain back into the channel.
Oh, it really is. Just good to see the green sea and the sun shining, and Romain really able to make the most of this incredible rite of passage for Vendée Globe finishers.
It does indeed. He's had a few hours to catch up with his team, with his close friends and family. And now's the time to enjoy it. The stress is off, the stress is over. And he has a really lovely afternoon. It was a pretty chilly, foggy morning. A little bit surreal as he was coming into the finish line. Trying to just pinpoint exactly where the Nush Sud mark was and the finish line, but he did it beautifully in the end. And now's the time to enjoy the afternoon, and I'm sure there'll be thousands of people out on the sea walls of the channel, and Yannick Bestaven coming in not too far behind. Obviously Yannick out of the race, but he did complete the course solo from Ushuaia.
And we can see already the crowds on the breakwater there waiting for Romain, and a nice little flotilla come out to meet him and escort him in, already making a lot of noise. It's amazing how the noise just carries on and on and on as you go down that channel. It doesn't matter where you are on the channel, there's so much energy from everyone who's come out to wish him well.
It was interesting, I think it was Sam who was saying that's the case, but you can also make out exactly what people are saying, and the lovely messages of support and congratulations. They're very personal as well. Even though there's a big crowd, you can hear exactly what people are saying to you.
And this will be the third time that Romain has come down this channel with his third finish. Of course, it was slightly different in 2021 when COVID restrictions didn't allow the huge crowds. But I think people are more than making up for it this time. And I'm sure there's a lot of people who will have travelled down from his hometown in Brittany to come and see his arrival.
Indeed, quite a few boats out there on the water with a very strict protocol just to make sure everybody gives a little bit of space, a little bit of room to Romain and his team as he brings the boat down. And Pip there, just remember, he just I think was physically thanking everybody who had contributed in this last minute fundraising effort to get a replacement mast. Remember, he lost his mast just at 2 months before the start. And catching up there with his... It
was a really devastating time to lose the mast, and we can see from here the grey areas on the mast show all the names of the people that donated to a crowd fund to get him back up and running again. And I think kind of when he came in, he was really paying tribute to all of those people who made a difference. They all own a little bit of this race.
And they can all take a little bit of pride and share the journey, share the passage up this legendary channel.
So his team have got him ready. You can see on the foredeck there are 2 buckets awaiting. I expect they're full of water for his flares, to dunk his flares in when he's finished with them. So it looks like they're really going to make the most of it. And of course, for the passage down the channel, the skipper will be always on the foredeck so that people have got a really clear view of him, so that people can take photos and really make the most of this incredible opportunity, especially kind of with him standing over the top of the branding of his sponsors. It's just some really memorable photos taken then.
We have a nice shot of the main beach here in Les Sables d'Olonne. It is one of the most beautiful beaches, one of the most beautiful bays in the world, and that's ratified by it being, or Les Sables d'Olonne is a member of an organisation, a global organisation for the best bays in the world. As the mayor of Les Sables d'Olonne was telling me before the start, and they had different groups from different bays around the world were all here for the start. But Romain then taking himself to the bow.
And it's incredible how many people keep turning up for all of these arrivals. It's not just about the podium positions. Every sailor that finished this race gets a huge amount of recognition from the public here.
They do, I mean, and they're not all from Les Sables d'Olonne or the Vendée region. Quite, in fact, we just finished the last live shows. Many people will know, and there's a pleasing number of English people down here just to enjoy the finishes. No, not particularly fans of any one or two different skippers, but just here to enjoy and to share the atmosphere and enjoy a little bit of this special Vendée Globe magic.
And the IMOCA fleet in general really is gaining a much more international appeal now. There are more international skippers, more English-speaking skippers in particular, and we're seeing sponsors from all over the world come to join the fleet, which is growing all the time. Nice flat water for them coming down the channel, so they can really kind of make the most of conditions. Oh, there goes his first flare.
The great thing we'll see
It's a surreal moment.
Yeah, go on, Pip.
No, having spent so long on your own at sea with just the noise of the boat around you and the natural noises of the ocean to kind of come in and have all this human-made noise around you, all this activity is quite surreal, I think.
And one of the nice things, of course, on a Sunday afternoon is it's the perfect timing for the finish, because people can go out and see the actual finish on the big screens and then go for a bit of lunch in the many restaurants and pubs that are open round Les Sables d'Olonne, and then turn out just after 4 local time here to see Romain and then Yannick coming in not too far behind.
And along that southern seawall that we're looking at now are plaques for every Vendée Globe finisher, and they're put in time order. So every time you finish a Vendée Globe, you'll have a plaque representing the number of days you finished it at. So Romain's going to get his 3rd plaque after this one.
We have quite a number of finishers coming in over the next few days, as you might expect with such a big fleet, 40 starters, biggest ever fleet, and probably one of the lowest rates of attrition ever. And so it's kind of inevitable that we have these groups of boats, same vintage and the same, through the same weather systems.
And it has been a really hard race back up the Atlantic for the first half of the fleet generally. And the bay in Les Sables d'Olonne might be the most incredible, beautiful bay, but it's certainly not that great in bad weather conditions. So the last 2 finishers unable to finish on the line, but Romain was able to finish on the line this morning in much more pleasant weather. And so to come directly into the port has been a bit of a treat for him and his team. It's just incredible, the massive amount of people that come out to watch these finishes. Really is a reflection on the work, the training, the dedication that not just the skippers, but all of these teams have put in to get these boats around the world. It is a monumental amount of work.
Well, I think that's Ruben on the bow with his dad. It's a lovely moment for him. He was shared it with his mum Sam. Of course, they're coming in consecutively.
What a cool moment for him, going down the channel with his parents. I bet he's unbelievably proud.
And everybody shares in this race. All his nearest and dearest share the race in their own way. We all end up watching every single ranking and them so much more invested.
And I guess after the podium entries are in, it just gives us a bit more opportunity to kind of check in with the rest of the fleet and share their stories. There's a window for us to see their struggles, which are as tough as the guys at the front of the fleet, sometimes tougher. And of course,
Indeed.
Callie dismasted this week, which was really sad to see. Really sad way to end the race. It's not easy for everyone.
Especially when his real ambition was just to finish 5. He was not so worried about the result and just caught out, I think. And even though he has this kite, which is making reasonable progress with, of course he can't go up and against the systems. And so he's heading for the Caribbean, the French Caribbean, which I think he'll reach in about 10 days, something like that now. But this is
you
all
can hear
about
the
Romain
volume
then.
of the crowd getting louder. They seem to have an inexhaustible supply of flares.
Supply of flares. Well, what a perfect afternoon, what lovely weather. It's turned out to be reasonably warm and no wind at all. And hopefully this stays in for the next... it's kind of one of these things though, isn't it, Pip? You want the lovely weather for the spectators, but you need breeze on the Bay of Biscay to bring the fleet in, especially when they're so close behind. And these little match races, these little duels going on. You want an even race into the finish line, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And Romain had a good space between him and the pack behind, but his last 24 hours, 36 hours have been quite slow, and I'm sure he was just kind of thinking he just wanted to get home and get in. And from here, the boat does look in really good condition. I don't think he's had any major problems at all, which again is testament to his team and the work that they put in. It's the second of the 2016 generation boats to finish.
after Benjamin Dutroux.
Yeah. And really one of the kind of things with this boat, especially in the foiling fleet, is it has been difficult to kind of break ranks with your generation of boat. And Romain sailed a really good race and kept the pace on with his 2016 boat. Your arms get quite tired of waving on this channel, but the energy of the crowd definitely keeps it going.
He's passed over the flares by proxy to de Ruben and Ruben's pal, who is a good friend now, and just passing the end of the La Chaume there. Once again, hardly a space to stand and watch. Incredible, really, isn't it? Just there's as many people out this afternoon as there were for Charlie Dallin and for Johan Richomme. Perhaps a few more for Seb Simon. It's a little bit a question of timing and opportunity, as I say. The weekends always bring out the crowds. I think Romain's at the highest flare budget, but
Definitely has. They keep coming.
a little bit in advance.
Romain's time of 83 days, a great time when you think about it, to sail all the way around the world, and only 3 days slower than the winning time in 2021. So he's 14th, but it's still a fast race around the world.
As you said earlier, he got 2 particular points in the South Atlantic, and then the doldrums he really got slowed, and he was not quick out of the North Atlantic going down. He was one of the many boats who got stuck in the east of the rum line, or east close to the rum line, with very light conditions. The same as indeed was the case with Boris and a few others.
And of course, before then, he had to climb the mast. He had problems with his hook, mainsail hook, and had to climb the mast, which slowed him down a bit again, something nobody wants to have to do. And I know already Romain's thinking about kind of the next 4 years, what they look like going forwards with his team to another Vendée, to the ocean race. Definitely building on what they've managed to achieve in the last 4 years.
It'll be interesting to see where he goes with that, because as you said, Pippi is a very well-liked and respected skipper. In fact, as his previous boat captain from the last race, Seb Marseille, is doing the race this time, and he was Romain's main preparateur, main boat captain on the last race. So I wonder whether we might see them getting together. But Seb, a very experienced sailor, been round the world 3 times and racing in the ocean race, and also sailed on Spindrift. So it'd be interesting to see where Romain gets to with a crude format. In perfectly still conditions, but you know there's hardly a ripple on the water.
It really is. You can get anything in January, though. You know, such a massive difference to what we had last week.
It's hard to believe, isn't it? Exactly a week ago that Clarice and Benj were coming in, and there was so much wind, and more particularly the waves would not let them get into Les Sables d'Olonne. So, Romain coming past the Capitanerie, the harbour master's office on the top of our picture, left, or to his left.
And there'll be even more people waiting at the race village to see him come onto the dock.
So Romain served his time in the mini class pip, didn't he? Not a very auspicious start to his career, yeah.
He was part of the mini race in 1999 that suffered a huge storm in the Biscay at the start, and actually that kind of changed qualification rules and protocols for a lot of ocean racing after that. Romain ended up needing to be rescued from his boat that was flipped upside down, but it didn't put him off ocean racing.
It didn't. I think he was rescued by a cargo ship, wasn't he? And he was on a super low budget at the time. He kept going. Did 5 or 6 years on the La Solitaire circuit. Was very competitive.
Yeah, as many of the IMOCA skippers, he served his time in the Figaros, had sailed some multi-hulls alongside some of the really senior French sailors, and then eventually made his way into a very low-budget IMOCA campaign in 2016, just with the idea of getting round, which he did after considerable technical problems, including broken rudder. And from that 2016 race, he's kind of built his team and he's built his career.
Here you see the round building there on the right with the columns. This is the Capitanerie, and you can see the hordes of people heading for the race village.
So I imagine after he's had his steak and chips ashore, his press conference is going to be a popular one, because he's always got such a good sense of humour and he's an interesting skipper to talk to.
Indeed, and he doesn't hold back generally, but I think he's fairly happy can't have many things to complain about. But always very good humoured. Not averse to singing occasionally, as you can see. He was singing a bit of Edith Piaf coming in the other day. So Les Sables d'Olonne doing what Les Sables d'Olonne does best. Saluting the Vendée Globe skippers. Outwards
and it's definitely
returning.
a worthy welcome.
Absolutely. And we can be sure that towards the end of February, whatever day that is, 25th, 26th, 27th, there will still be many people will turn out to welcome in whoever is the final skipper to finish, whether it's our Belgian skipper Denis van Weenberg or Fabrice Amadeo. Manu Cousin will get a big welcome. He's 31st at the moment. I think Manu keeps his boat here and is an adopted Vendéan, adopted Sables.
And they'll make their way past the other IMOCAs on the dock down to the red carpet area, where even more people will get to hug Romain as he gets onto the shore.
Hearing a joke with Ruben then. So it's always interesting to see the skippers who are happy for their technical teams to park the boat and we can just enjoy the moment, or sometimes we see them feeling like they need to help or take a lot.
And I'd say the pressure's more on the technical team than on the skipper, to be honest.
You can see the race fleet and the on the main pontoon there, the ponton d'honneur, the red carpet out for Romain. You always get a good reminder that Les Sables d'Olonne is a very busy fishing port and a commercial port there. The bunkers there for PRB, who have been one of the main sponsors of race entries in every edition, won the race twice. So in a few minutes then Romain Attanasio will get the chance to step ashore. He's well used to the company of his close friends and his family. Now, having had a few hours to catch up, he's got a big welcome
And
coming up his way.
I imagine the next 24 hours will fly by for him, kind of being, I guess, swept along in everybody else's celebrations as well as his own. Having been 83 days managing every moment of his own time, it's time to let someone else tell him where to go and what to do for a bit.
It was interesting talking with Clarice just now, just saying how she was really, really exhausted, but she said you just got to keep going just now and know that in a couple of days it'll be all over. She's looking forward to welcoming Tongi in late tomorrow, probably.
Yeah, I think the euphoria of the finish just carries you along for a long time, and then all of these skippers are going to have a massive slump where they just kind of need some rest and to decompress for at least a week.
You can be pretty sure that Romain
still go on.
You can be pretty sure Romain will be in the mountains fairly quickly, knowing him. Just get things sorted out, all the admin done, and his boat has to stay here for 2 weeks. He'll do all his media obligations in the next 48 hours or so. And he'll want to be on the dock to welcome some skippers in, I'm quite sure.
Just making those final few meters towards tying up, and then it's all over.
What's that moment like, Pip, as you actually step ashore?
It's, for me, it was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. It was kind of a signing off. It was a feeling of immense satisfaction, and kind of knowing you'd had a good job done. But then also thinking ahead to what's next, and I know Romain's already thinking about that.
So we've got Romain's music striking up in the background. We've got Guns N' Roses, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm sure the primary emotions for Romain are satisfaction and a feeling of success. He's achieved everything he set out to do. He was aiming for, he said he was aiming for a place in the top 10, but this has been such a competitive race. And 14th is a fabulous result for him.
Yeah, it's a good result, and he looks in really good form. 83 days. He can definitely feel proud of that.
Again, what a great moment for Ruben and his friend, being able to share it with his dad.
Yeah, those are memories that will remain with him forever.
So there we go, Roman. Then 83 days, 22 hours, 48 minutes, and 18 seconds for 14th place. Next in should be Damien Seguin. And Damien just had a few more technical issues in the Indian Ocean.
Romain looks like he's really enjoying these final moments on
He
the boat.
does, I think he probably thinks that Guns N' Roses have arrived specially for him, judging by the noise here.
What a great track to choose.
Just lovely to see Pip, isn't it? It's just totally just drinking it in, loving this moment.
But also sharing it with everyone as well. Just letting them see how much it means to him, and that just kind of reflects and reverberates around.
C'est à vous, c'est à votre tour. S'il vous plaît, Romain Attanasio, c'est à vous. FORTINET, persuasive, je veux vous entendre. Allez, faites du bruit.
Just getting a little shot there of all this. Pip was saying all the names of the people who contributed to his mast, or their mast indeed.
Notre ami Romain avec les journalistes présents sur les pontons. Ce sera dans quelques instants. Pour l'instant, je savoure le retour de ses proches, mesdames et messieurs. Les salutations avec les officiels. Bien sûr, les proches, il y en a déjà vu quelques-uns lorsqu'ils franchissaient la ligne ce matin. Il était 11h50. Là, d'autres proches sont là, son équipe technique, son partenaire.
So then, just waiting to make sure the boat's fully secured.
Joli moment d'émotion, je vous assure.
How are you? He says. Like he's just come from delivery from Lorient. Oh, champagne.
Merci, ça va? Bravo. Qu'est-ce que je fais? J'y vais? Ah ben tiens.
What do you want me to do with it?
So another right of passage.
Regardez ce petit moment, moment symbolique. Il en rêvait, il est arrivé. Ah,
I think those boys are going to get wet.
Ça faisait des heures qu'il pensait à ce qui lui arrivait. Ça faisait des heures qu'il pensait à son ponton. Ça faisait des heures qu'il pensait à ce champagne, mesdames et messieurs. Et il savoure cet instant.
Making it
Fantastic,
rain
just-
champagne.
Indeed, on the president and everyone else. But what a great moment for Romain Attanasio. Just to have sailed such a
It is an
great race,
incredible
a solid
achievement.
performance, and Now he's going to share the moment with his team. Get the official photo call with his team.
And we do so often forget that this really is a team sport. We're out there on our own, but we would be nothing without our teams.
Absolutely, and very often they're on call, or most of them are on call 24/7 for, in this case, 83 days, plus the build-up period, making sure everything goes to plan in the build-up.
Pierre, je croyais que t'étais pas là. Ah, d'accord. Ils font des blagues en plus.
Romain, tu peux juste descendre 2 minutes,
There we go, Romain Attanasio on the shore, greeted by Laura Legoff, the CEO for the SEM Vendée, Patricia Brochard, and Stephanie Rousseau, and Patricia from Sodobo, main sponsors of the race.
Je ne vois pas dans le soleil là. Ça va? Ouais, carrément. Ouais. Salut Romain. Ça va, ouais, mais je vais en plein soleil, je vous vois pas.
Félicitations.
On se décale, merci. Bravo Romain. Merci.
Bravo.
Congratulations for his race.
Ouais, merci. Ouais.
Viens Romain. Romain, viens avec nous.
Ah, question, d'accord. On sait pas ce qu'il faut faire. Hein.
Eh bah,
What do you want to do?
raconte-nous Romain ton émotion là dans ce chenal.
Le chenal, ah bah ouais, le chenal c'est toujours incroyable. C'est mieux à l'arrivée que.
It's always incredible. It's better when you come back than when you leave. You're stressed out. It's really you just want to go, but when you come back, everything changes because once you cross the finish line, there's no more pressure. Pressure is off. Everything's good. You spend 3 months wondering what's going to happen, when you're going to have to abandon, when everything is going to go. And even till this morning, I was afraid I was going to lose my mask. But once you cross the line, nothing can happen, and it's just awesome.
Ouais, quand même. Ah ouais, parce que je suis parti un peu tranquille d'ailleurs la première semaine parce que j'avais peur
I was relaxed. I was
de le casser. En plus, il était pas
I was
très.
afraid I was going to break
D'ailleurs, pendant la course, j'ai eu des petits
something.
problèmes
New boat, so I
de
had
ragage parce que
few
on le rodait.
problems
Et tu vois,
because I didn't have
forcément,
enough time
j'y pensais tout le temps parce que
to train. I was thinking about it all the time
c'est pas un truc qu'on oublie quoi. Donc c'est vrai que
because
j'y ai
I
pensé jusqu'à la
lost
fin.
my mask 2 months
Il a
before
pas raison parce qu'en fait, il est
Vendée
super.
Globe, and I thought about it the whole time,
Ouais,
but
parce
it's
que
great.
ça a été quand même toute une aventure ce mât, dans
It
une
was a
aventure dans
big
l'aventure. Mais c'est
adventure,
vrai
this
que,
mask. It was an adventure within the
c'était,
adventure.
le précédent m'a fait défaut et celui-là.
Last time I lost my mask, but this one was great.
Une intensité de régate dingue.
Ouais, ça avait rien à voir avec mes 2 précédents.
I had nothing to do with
Vendée,
it.
c'était
My
vraiment
previous one, two
une
Vendée
aventure.
Globes.
Je m'étais arrêté en Afrique du
First
Sud,
one,
j'avais réparé mes
real
sables, je voulais juste
adventure.
finir.
South
Le deuxième, je
South
voulais faire un
Africa.
peu plus
And
sport, mais
I wanted to stop. The second one was more
un bateau à
sporty.
dérive, et puis j'avais eu aussi pas mal de problèmes.
Well,
Celui-là,
I
ça
had a
Celui-là,
second boat,
vraiment la
had
course,
problems, but this one has nothing to
tout
do
le
with the
temps
two
avec les
previous
autres.
ones.
Chaque
It
fois
was
que j'arrivais à partir devant, ça revenait par
race
derrière, donc
with
c'était
the
la
others
pression
was
permanente.
total
Je
racing.
me rappelle après le Cap Horn,
Full
la remontée
pressure. I
d'Atlantique,
remember after
ça a été du
Cap
délire. À un
Horn,
moment, on s'est retrouvé avec
when
Damien,
we
vous
set
vous
back
rappelez,
on
dans la
Atlantic,
pétole, avec
Damien,
tous les
we
bateaux qui
were like
revenaient. Tout le monde disait, ah, genre le
towing
Cap va vous
over
doubler. C'était
Cap.
vraiment l'horreur.
Thus,
Et puis
the cam
finalement,
was
j'ai réussi à repartir. Donc à
with
chaque fois, ouais,
us,
c'était la
and
course.
then I was able
J'ai
to
attaqué comme j'aurais jamais
eat
fait avec
the
mes bateaux
mind,
précédents.
and I really was able to
Ouais, c'était physiquement c'était dur. C'est Fortinet,
physically it was
c'est un
really
foiler
hard.
et
It's
ça
a
a rien à voir
boiler.
avec les bateaux.
It has
Et à certains
nothing to do
moments,
with
je vous
the
cache pas que je me
other
demandais
boats.
pourquoi
Sometimes
on avait fait la
I was
bêtise de mettre des
wondering
foils sur nos bateaux.
why I
C'est sûr que ça
chose
va
a
vite, mais par contre
boat boat.
c'est ingérable.
It's really fast,
Physiquement, je veux
and
dire,
it's
c'est
really
difficile.
difficult to deal with. But physically, it was really
Vous
tough.
racontez de partager. Tu as été quand même l'un des meilleurs communicants de ce Tour du Monde.
Ah bah merci. Bah, j'essaye de raconter ce que je vis, quoi. Moi j'ai pas grand chose à cacher. Je pense à Charlie qui joue la victoire. Forcément quand il a un problème il peut pas le dire parce que ça va aider celui qui est juste à côté. Mais moi j'ai pas cette pression là. Et puis justement je sais que depuis que je fais les Vendée Globe j'arrive à le faire parce que j'ai des sponsors, parce que j'ai des gens qui me suivent et puis parce qu'il y a tous ces gens qui sont sur le mât qui me suivent et donc bah forcément si je ne raconte pas ce que je vis ça marche pas quoi. Donc non, je suis content de raconter. Notre sport c'est quand même un sport qui se court pas dans un stade et si on le raconte pas bah il y a rien quoi. Donc j'essaie de raconter comme je le vis avec mes forces et mes faiblesses.
Et alors côté faiblesse, il y a la justesse de ta voix parce que il y a une playlist tout le long qui est entre nostalgie et chant de France.
Ah oui, ah non, à Lorient on a Radio Bonheur, c'est encore un cran au-dessus. Mais bah ouais, vous savez que j'adore la chanson française, mais je chante très mal et ça a toujours été toute ma vie un complexe horrible de ne pas savoir chanter. J'aurais aimé être un grand chanteur, mais je ne sais pas chanter. Alors, je ne chanterai jamais en public, d'ailleurs je vous le dis, vous ne me verrez jamais chanter en public. Mais par contre, quand je suis tout seul sur mon bateau, là je veux bien. Du coup je chante tout le temps et je me suis dit autant rigoler une fois, puis j'ai vu que ça faisait marrer tout le monde. J'en ai fait plusieurs. Merci à vous.
Des médias. C'est bon.
Cool, bah merci.
Thank you.
That was Romain, of course, on the pontoonist first words as he comes in now, looking at Yannick Bestaven, winner of the last Vendée Globe, who had to retire into the Shuya with steering problems. His steering system had given up, and so his team met him there, made a repair, which did not take very long, but then he was determined to sail back solo from there and complete his circumnavigation with the one single stop. Look up a very, very special moment for Yannick Bestaven, completing his solo circumnavigation, even with that single stop. Hugely popular skipper from just down the coast in La Rochelle. So a very, very popular skipper, and a big welcome for him. Really appreciative of the fact that he carried on after having made his repair. In actual fact, he had problems with his steering from very, very early in the race, and he kept trying to keep going, but the effect on the actual axle to which the steering system is attached in the centre of the stern, the centre of the transom, that ended up causing more and more damage to the structure that supports it, and that was the main problem in the end. That required him to stop in the end. So big welcome from all the MAԻTRE COQ fans. Anyway, loads of people have turned out for Yannick Bestaven. See La Rochelle just down the coast, and originally from the Arcachon Basin, where in fact he's good friends with, they grew up with Cali, with Arnaud Boissier, and both did the mini transat together, which Yannick won. Just a very important time for Yannick, having achieved the complete circumnavigation, and a very respectful welcome. And he's clearly pushed quite hard. So the passion is the same, the welcome is the same, and really, I guess that Yannick Bestaven will wonder what might have been, but at the moment, it's about enjoying this welcome back with his team. He was under no pressure this time, having won the 2021 race. Last time he came in the channel in January, he knew he had won the Vendée Globe. As we can see, the crowd heading for the race village. And Yannick then thanking all the world for turning out. So Yannick's race really was hampered by these problems most of the time, but he did prove himself once again in the south. He sailed such a solid Indian and Pacific Oceans in 2021 with an older generation boat on small foils. And he too just happy to be back and with his family and close friends. So it's in fact his third Vendée Globe. This one, it's something of a strange record in the sense that he's started 3 times, abandoned twice, and won 1. Can't think of anyone else who has that record. But he's a very, very intelligent engineer in his own right. Developed or initiated and developed the Watton C hydro generators that almost all of the fleet used. And as it leads an initiative in La Rochelle down the coast to develop their own training centre for all classes, for Imocas, Class 40s and Minis. And again, it's going to be interesting to see what Yannick does next. We're just coming up towards 25 past 5 here in Les Sables d'Olonne. In a beautiful late afternoon. There we go. Bravo, Yannick. His marketing team waiting on the pontoon. Skipper who ended up being a little bit shy on race time in the end, but he really proved himself while he was racing that he's one of the best, and certainly merited his victory last time. And with a little bit more luck, could have been finishing in the top 5, top 10 for sure. Did not do so well in the pre-Vendée races this season. 6th in the Transat CIC, which is a pretty solid result, but ended up 20th on the race back with many technical problems. That had to abandon the Transat Jacques Vabre, now known as the Transat Café L'Or, in 2023. Had structural problems from memory, and his first race with this first races with this new boat with the Route de Rome. He had the 19th and was 9th in the Transat Jacques Vabre, first year after the
c'est mon collègue qui vole un Texas.
Little technical hitch there. Yannick Bestaven then arriving at the dock. Hear the sounds of the Rolling Stones. But I guess, you know, it's a great moment for him, but for sure feeling a little bittersweet. It's the satisfaction of finishing his circumnavigation, but just wondering what might have been, what could have been. And that slightly surreal, unique position coming in, getting a great welcome, but not actually having finished the race. I think that's what he's thinking right now. For sure, enjoying the welcome. It does not feel like, does not feel the same as having finished the race with a position on the ranking. So Yannick Bestaven then welcomed to the dock.
Pardon, excusez-moi. Excusez-moi. Je passe avec mes jambes déranges.
Papa, non.
Coco.
Making his way up to the pontoon.
Florence?
I can tell you that he has a slightly smaller bottle of champagne. A special moment nonetheless for Yannick Bestaven. Hugely respected among his peers, and indeed everyone here who has turned out for his arrival.
Bravo Yannick.
A real family atmosphere, lots of MAîTRE COQ team supporters out there. Certainly did not spend any more time than he needed to.
C'est bon les sables, c'est pas à côté hein.
See he has a tooth missing, which he knocked out in the Big South. So he's going to come on the pontoon, talk with the media. What an adventure then for Yannick Bestaven.
Merci pour la ligne d'arrivée. Malgré que je sois en course, ça fait plaisir. Pareil. Ouais, c'est pareil. C'est pareil. C'est la même boucle. Hein. Oui. C'est ça. Bravo l'équipe. Bravo l'équipe. On va faire une ligne. Et bonjour. Merci d'être là.
Oh, thank you for being here.
Quelle que soit l'arrivée, quelle que soit la
Whatever
place,
the finishes, whatever the ranking.
classé ou pas classé, ouais, voilà, ouais. Il fallait le faire ce tour. Il y avait... Exactement.
It's great to be here.
Ouais, tu vois, c'était vite fait, hein. 3 petits mois comme ça. Coucou Karim. Alors, ça rappelle ton photo, ça.
C'est exactement ça. Ouais, parce que t'as des rentrées en stage.
D'accord. Elle pas encore, tu vois, mais elle va passer, je crois. Décale maintenant, s'il vous plaît. Merci. Bien, Florence, il y en a. Attention. Bon, on va le mettre devant.
Je suis, hein.
Pardon, excusez-moi, je vais poser des questions.
Je vais pas te faire tomber. Attention, pas te
Ouais, c'est ça avec tes béquilles.
Ouais, je reste en phrase tout le temps.
Salut Yannick. Bonjour. Bravo. Hein. Ah, merci.
Hello. Oh, thank you.
Merci d'être venu, ça me fait plaisir.
Thank you for being here. I'm really pleased.
Au départ.
Bah ouais, top, voilà, ouais.
Yeah, great.
Yannick, raconte-nous. Ouais. Ce tour, c'était super bien parti. C'était le match, c'était sportif, c'était
It
intense,
was
c'était de la régate.
really well.
Ouais.
Like a regatta.
C'est vrai que
Yeah, I was really happy. 2/3 of this Vendée Globe, I was in the right pack. We were chasing behind with good boats, good skippers around.
Et
And then
c'est vrai que ça a été dur de prendre la décision de
it was
s'arrêter.
hard.
Je ne pouvais pas faire autrement. De toute
It
manière,
was hard
le bateau
to
était trop
decide to
abîmé, j'étais à
stop
la dérive,
for me,
système de barre cassé.
but the
Et
boat
donc
was
voilà, donc j'ai découvert Ushuaia, la Patagonie.
many problems. I
Très bel endroit
discovered
d'ailleurs.
Australia,
Je
Patagonia,
vais y
very
retourner
nice
en vacances,
place.
je pense.
I'm going to go
Et
back to there.
ça s'est transformé en une autre histoire, une autre
But
aventure, ce Vendée Globe.
it's another
Et
story.
ce que
This
j'étais en
one.
train de me dire ce matin en
Another
arrivant, je me
story.
disais,
I was
autant je me rappellerai beaucoup de celui que j'ai gagné,
telling
mais
myself
autant
that
celui-là il me
I
laissera aussi des
one I
souvenirs
won,
différents mais aussi merveilleux que celui d'il y a 4 ans parce que
great
c'est vrai que c'est...
memories
je me suis rendu
from
compte
this
aussi de
one.
tout le sens que c'était de faire le
It
tour du
was-
monde, le Vendée Globe, ce côté aventure qu'on oublie parfois.
It's
On est pris
incredible
par la
to
régate,
go
on
around
est pris par des machines
world,
exceptionnelles, ces
but
bateaux-là, on est à se battre pour une poignée de mille. Et en fait, au final, ça peut vite redevenir une galère, une aventure. Moi, je l'ai vécu pleinement et c'est pour ça que je suis content de boucler ce tour du monde parce que
it can
j'ai
be a
vraiment
great
tout donné,
adventure
autant donné
as
qu'il y a
well
4 ans
as
et le
terrible,
résultat, c'est pas le même, mais l'aventure, elle est aussi
terrible
belle.
adventure. But it's beautiful in the end.
Bah, c'est hyper dur de repartir hors course parce que
It's really hard
on sait
when you're
on sait pas
race
pourquoi on part en fait, qu'est-ce qu'on va
because
chercher
you
là-dedans.
don't know why you're
C'était
doing
ma volonté de
it.
terminer cette boucle, ce tour.
Really to
Je disais au
finish.
départ du Vendée Globe que j'ai une chance exceptionnelle d'être au départ. Il y a beaucoup de marins qui rêvent de faire ça.
I was really lucky
Donc voilà, il y a
to
toute mon équipe qui est
to
venue
be
m'aider à
there,
retourner le bateau à
to be
Ushuaia.
in the Vendée
Par
Globe,
rapport à mon équipe, tout le boulot qu'ils ont fait, par rapport à il y a 4 ans, les
Ushuaia,
sponsors, tous les gens qui me
and
suivent et
to
puis pour moi
help
aussi.
all the people,
C'était important de
all the
finir ce tour
people
du
who
monde.
were
Donc c'est vrai que
with
c'était
me.
dur
It
de
was
se remettre
very
en selle après
important
8 jours d'arrêt.
it.
Et
It was
je
really
me rendais pas
hard
compte
to
que la
have
route était
to
aussi
take
longue entre
this.
Ushuaia et
I
les Sables d'Olonne.
didn't realize
Ça y
that
est,
it was
vite fait.
such a long
Mais je suis content de l'avoir fait maintenant.
Ushuaia
Même,
and
même
Barcelona.
si ça
I'm
n'a pas
really
été simple tous
happy
les jours.
that decision was not a decision to
Ouais, ça
make.
m'a motivé parce que j'avais
I
plusieurs
was really
bateaux devant moi
motivated.
et tous les jours mon
I
objectif
had
c'était de les rattraper un par un
me,
et
and I
on
wanted to
arrivait
catch
à
up
monter
with
7
them.
bateaux donc
And
voilà,
finally,
ça m'a...
I was able to catch up
En fait
few.
j'avais
Like
envie d'être le plus tôt possible au sable.
I really
Donc j'ai fait
wanted
comme si j'étais
to be
encore en course
savage
de
as
Ushuaia jusqu'à
possible,
ici. Ouais.
so I acted as if I was doing the race.
Ouais.
That
Ouais,
last
bah ça, voilà, c'est hyper fort. Il y a 4 ans, j'ai fait le Chenal, alors il y avait un peu moins de monde parce qu'il y avait le Covid.
very
Et
intense.
j'avais vraiment,
Not
c'était une des raisons
4
qui me
years
motivait
ago,
de
it
partir
was
aussi
COVID, so
faire le Vendée Globe. Le départ
I
qu'on a
really
fait
wanted
était
to go
merveilleux
back.
le 10 novembre. Et
This
l'accueil là,
was
je voulais
an
vivre ça
incredible start
juste un
last
dimanche,
November.
2
I
jours,
really
avec
wanted
autant de
to
monde. Ben, en fait, je suis gâté quoi.
live
Donc je
this
suis très
Vendée
content
Globe
de ce qui m'arrive et de ce
normal
que je vis.
situation. I'm very happy to be here. I'm very happy to have done it. Thank you so much.
On l'a fait.
Yannick Bestaven on the podium then. A little bit reflective,
Ça va, Raja.
seeing how different the adventure was this time, but still enjoyed most of it, I think. But also seeing how difficult it was sailing solo back from Ushuaia from Patagonia on his own. In amongst the race fleet, in fact, of course, he'd be pacing himself as best he could, still on the tracker with Jacques Guillauder, then the
Parce que je pense que
West France, the
on n'est pas
main journalist.
si nombreux que ça, enfin avoir terminé le Vendée Globe. Voilà, et je pense que c'est...
Vendée Globe.
Et que je m'en rappelle, j'ai vu tout à l'heure, j'ai croisé Sam là du regard, je sais pas où elle est, Samantha, et je sais qu'elle m'avait dit il y a 4 ans que la plus belle des choses qu'elle avait fait, c'était de continuer son Vendée Globe hors course. Et ça, c'est vrai que c'est des mots qui ont sonné dans ma tête.
He was inspired by Sam Davis last time, who
Et c'est vrai qu'elle a raison, parce que
went
par
on
rapport
to
à tous les sacrifices
her
qu'on fait pour
working
faire de cette
reputation,
course,
so inspired
par rapport
by
aux
her,
sponsors, par rapport à nos équipes qui bossent pour nous pendant 4 ans.
decided that he wants to go on for a sponsor and for his team.
Et voilà, et puis il fallait ramener le bateau, il fallait ramener le
That
bonhomme.
became the goal.
Et puis moi je savais aussi que je voulais profiter de ces derniers moments en solitaire,
To
parce que c'était mon dernier Vendée Globe. Et
saying
j'avais
this is
envie d'aller au
definitely
bout,
his
de le
last
vivre à
Vendée
fond.
Globe. He
Voilà.
wants
Quel
to
que soit le
profit,
résultat,
to enjoy his
je disais, ça
last
me laissera des souvenirs impérissables, comme la
time
victoire. En fait, il y
sailing
a
his
4 ans j'ai vécu ça
solo,
formidablement.
sailing single-handed.
Formidable aventure, là c'est pareil ce que j'ai vécu.
Really strong, a really
S'arrêter au
big
Ushuaia,
adventure.
repartir, c'est des moments que j'oublierai pas. Et puis c'est arrivé, elle est aussi belle qu'il y a 4 ans.
Even though it's a real adventure, real experience going into Patagonia and Ushuaia.
Est-ce que tu penses à autre chose? Est-ce que
Non, j'avais
la même motivation?
Ah ouais, ma motivation principale c'était d'arriver le plus vite possible au Sable d'Olonne. parce que je savais que j'avais pris 10 jours de
His main
retard sur le
motivation
groupe
is
avec
getting
lequel
back to
j'étais.
the Sables de l'Olonne as
J'avais
quickly as
envie de
possible and as
terminer le plus
best
tôt
as
possible.
possible.
J'avais des bateaux à remonter devant moi, donc j'ai fait ce convoyage en mode régate en fait. Hein. J'ai pas lâché, j'ai
So
rien
he
lâché.
did delivery in race
Pas mal de
mode.
bateaux. Et puis voilà, au final, je sais pas, je dois arriver de 14 ou 15e. Voilà, je suis hors course, mais je suis là. Je suis dans le milieu du paquet.
It still
Avoir
feels
découvert
like it
la
was
Patagonie,
14th,
c'est pas
15th
mal.
then the fleet. It's not bad.
Dernier en solitaire, c'est irrémédiable ça.
No.
It's asking if it's his last race in solo.
Tu l'as annoncé.
Oui, j'ai surtout envie d'accompagner des jeunes à vivre ça. Ça, c'est clair que j'aimerais permettre
He
aux
wants to
jeunes
leave it
skippers
to younger
d'être
people, I
là-bas sur
think.
mon bateau en 2028. D'accord. Et puis moi, continuer à courir en double ou en équipage, sur les tours du monde en équipage avec lui, avec l'équipe.
So he's taking
Passer
through the
la main aux jeunes, ouais, c'est bien, je trouve.
some racing team, or sorry, with the crew racing,
formidable. C'est pour ça qu'on a mis les Rolling Stones, parce que
and
c'est
he
la
wants
vieille
to build a
équipe,
team,
je crois
a
que c'est le
strong
Jean
team
Le
of younger people.
C'est un clin d'œil à mes Rolling
Doesn't
Stones.
really want to be the John
J'ai
LeCam.
envie d'essayer d'accompagner un jeune, de transmettre et
He wants to
voilà, parce que c'est
transmit
vraiment
his
des aventures
skills.
fortes. Pendant 3 mois, tu te poses la
It's a
question.
great adventure over the years.
T'arrives là, tu te dis, ouais, je comprends pourquoi je fais ça. C'est pour vivre des moments comme aujourd'hui. Ouais.
On peut pas dire que depuis ta victoire dans le Vendée Globe, tu auras eu un cycle
Compliqué.
Ouais. Un long fleuve tranquille, tout ça.
Non, parce que ça montre que c'est des bateaux qui sont très compliqués à mettre au point. Alors il y a des écuries qui sont arrivées
These
peut-être
are
un peu mieux. C'est vrai que nos bateaux, quand même, c'est des bateaux.
some they're very complicated boats. Some teams are a little bit
grosses équipes,
better prepared, able to run their boat
des
better.
machines comme celle-là. Nous, on a eu
But these are
des petits soucis, mais bon, on a quand même terminé à peu près toutes nos courses.
a lot
avec
of
les
little
pépins qu'on
problems
a
with the team.
eu. Et puis voilà, c'est
And here's the Romain Attanasio coming to welcome him. Big hug from Romain and from
Sam
Sam.
qui m'a
To
motivé
say,
parce qu'elle a fait la moitié du tour du
Sam who
monde. il y a 4 ans.
motivates them.
Et moi j'en ai fait un tiers, c'est dur, mais alors la moitié, Sam.
Such a special moment for them.
Ah ouais.
Si tu peux continuer, ça va le coup, mais
J'y ai
c'est pas facile.
pensé. Qu'est-ce que
Just
t'avais fait
Sam
il y a 4 ans?
empathizing with them, seeing how difficult it is to go on yourself.
Comme ça, toi ou même Jérémy qui avait fait 2
To live it like that, said Yannick, is really hard.
Ah oui, 10 jours après.
C'est autre chose. Mais bravo à toi.
bravo.
Tu l'as fait,
je suis content.
c'est trop bien.
Ah ouais, au moins t'as
Et
l'arrivée.
on a
tout,
bataillé nous, hein.
Ouais, c'était bien en tout cas, c'était sympa.
J'espère, ça te motive.
They said it, and Roman saying it's good nonetheless. It's really good going.
3 jours je serai à la manette. Les 3 jours j'ai pas dormi. Même hier, m'ont enlevé mon J0. Ah putain, je le laisse, il va me niquer sinon et tout. Du coup, je l'ai enlevé en
So
vrac,
missing his
n'importe comment.
J0.
C'est vraiment débile.
Lovely moment sharing
Eh oui.
little memories, little thoughts from the skippers.
Oui, le vent qui colle.
And romancing how light it was coming into the finish.
Il y avait pas de vent. J'ai jamais vu ça. C'est le pire, j'ai vu de ma vie.
Ton heure, t'as pris la bonne décision de laisser passer la baston, il y avait pas d'autre solution.
Non, il y avait plus de solution. Tout le monde à la recherche, ils m'ont dit ça passe pas, c'est blanc.
Paris, il passait juste parce qu'ils ont un peu d'avance.
Where the finishes and the potential of finishes. Talking about Sam going, or Sam talking about having to turn around and come back. Didn't have the choice. Not easy.
Et après, on a montré avec 10 mètres. C'est incroyable.
Ça va être beau à voir.
10 meters of sea, 8 meters of sea.
Sur le moment,
Incredible.
t'es pas très fier, mais quand ça passe, t'es content.
To get through it, I'm very happy.
C'était trop. Avec Boris, il m'envoie les messages. Je dis, mais Sam, comment je ralentis plus? Parce qu'il était devant moi et déjà moi. En fait, on avait pensé de rester.
Just saying that they got a message from Boris Singh. Slow down.
Et du coup, elle dit, parce qu'il fallait l'offrir plus, parce qu'il était finisseur. Et Boris, il m'a fait, je dis, bah voilà, t'as envie de ta 12-15 nœuds et on était à 19, 20, 22 avec des pointes à 30. On est, il y avait des trains à 50.
Saying how hard it was to keep the boat slow.
Avec du refus et tout.
And obviously Boris with his foil, it was different for him. He could stay slower, but Sam struggled to stay slow. And Stephanie Ruscio saying, "Come on, let's go." Got to do their official photos. Nice little photo with nice little photo of Sam and Romain and Yannick. It's nice to see them catching up with each other and comparing notes and
Dis-moi alors.
Tu veux bien, tu retournes sur ton bateau? Et je vais y trouver le
You can see that big crowd waiting for Romain in particular. So next in will be Damien Sagan, who's got about 100 odd miles to go. He's quite slow, doing 8.5 knots. Alan Rura's only 14 miles behind, doing 17 knots. So it's going to see some compression into the finish, perhaps. This race is very definitely not over yet for Damien and Alan, and indeed Benjamin Ferret is only 34 miles behind Damien Sagan, and Tanguy Le Turquet is only 4 miles behind Benjamin Ferret. So these two little match races, as we talk about, could end up mixing up together. I'm sure we've not seen the last of the daggerboard boats of Benjamin Ferret and Tanguy Le Turquet coming into lighter breezes into the Bay of Biscay, or in the Bay of Biscay. Certainly overnight, anything could happen. Yannick Bestaven, then a hero to his team and to many other people, and the way he's conducted himself and got himself to the finish. So lady on his right, Anne Combert with the glasses, she's also recently announced her retirement. She's been behind so many major programs and managed Yannick's Vendée Globe winning program on the last edition. Nearest to the master is the Jean-Marie Doris, who's the technical manager for the team, and he's been his co-skipper, America's Cup sailor, and America's Cup technical team member. Yannick also just paid tribute earlier on to his team, who flew down to Ushuaia to make his repairs. They were on the dock as he arrived, pretty much, or within 24 hours. Just looking back to his arrival into Les Sables d'Olonne, into the channel.
Tu tournes autour. Dos au public. Ok, et donc moi dans ces cas-là, je fais le dos de passe. Et ensuite, du coup, comme tu es devant, moi je pars directement dans la public. C'est bien, passerelle de Yannick aussi. Ouais, et après, du dos. Oui, Yannick qui remonte. Moi je suis de dos, toi tu es devant. Un peu de sur l'autre passerelle. Et du coup, comme tu as fait hier, c'était pas mal. Et du coup, comme tu es un peu d'avant. Moi après je te laisse vite fait tourner autour, je passe derrière et je reviens.
C'est Jeff qui monte?
Ah ouais, je fais les premières photos quand il y avait les bras, etc.
C'est Jeff qui monte à Pascal.
So just waiting for Romain to take the stage, I think, to be welcomed by the crowd, and he'll say a few words. For those of you interested in ETAs, we're expecting Groupe Apicil. Damien Sagan should be in tomorrow morning between 5 and 10 local time. and right behind him, Hublot, Monoyer, Duo for a Job, and Lazare, all between 8 in the morning and 3 in the afternoon tomorrow. Then John Le Cam, Conrad, and Prisman, Giancarlo Padotti should be in on the 4th during the early hours of the morning, and then a little bit of a gap back to freelance. That would be round about the 7th, DMG the 8th, 9th. And as I said, I think we're expecting the last boat at the moment, Detarian Group, our Belgian skipper, Denis van Veenberg. We're expecting probably on the somewhere between the 25th and 27th, depending how the all the weather systems line up for him. He's at the level of Rio just now. And for those of you who are wondering, and I'm sure you are, Yannick is going to enjoy his steak frite, mousse au chocolat, a beer and some water. And Romain is mostly wanting actually a salad, a green salad with tomatoes, a côte de boeuf saignante, chips, and a chocolate dessert of some description, not quite sure what it is. A nice coffee, a glass of red wine, a 1664 beer, and an espresso. So Romain really pushing the boat out and making the most of his first meal ashore. Although knowing Romain, I'd be very surprised if he hasn't had a beer or two since his team met him. But the choice of first meals through the fleet or through the remaining part of the fleet are nothing very you wouldn't expect. Jean Le Cam looking forward to a very red piece of meat with a Roquefort sauce and panna cotta, red wine. Conrad Coleman, our number one vegetarian in the fleet, looking forward to veggie lasagna from Econton.
Au bout du bout.
Yannick, d'accord. Ouais, Lionel. On va se faire taper dessus, sur le bateau du dehors. On va dire bonjour à tout le monde.
Gaston Morvan.
Vous y allez.
Skipper, you would expect to see in the next race.
Ça va?
Même sans dents, il fait pas peur à un bébé.
Allez. Ouais, voilà! Architecte, ouais, pas la vis.
Ouais, non, pas lui. Lui, on va le piquer maintenant.
Lots of friends from home and family out to see him.
Ah ouais, t'as raison, c'était le rhume. Tu vas venir jusqu'au bout, l'étoile?
Merci à toi.
Tout à l'heure?
Ah ouais, tout à l'heure.
Lovely welcome then for Yannick Bestaven. It feels so different the last time.
Bravo Yannick.
But so much support from different teams and
Bravo Yannick. Bravo Yannick. Merci de revenir.
and their Hubert Lemonnier race director. Romain Fabien Delahaye there, I think.
Non, pas là, non. Plus tard.
Romain saying, well, what now? This moment belongs to Romain Attanasio. Lots of love for the kids.
C'est de la musique.
Still be welcomed on stage for the next few seconds, and there's our crowd of race fans out to share this moment with Romain Attanasio.
De saluer, si j'ai une musique que vous connaissez
And so I think very much a swan song then for Yannick Bestaven, as much as anything, from what he's just saying, the winner of the 2021 race, saying he's finished with the Vendée Globe for sure, for just now wants to hand over the reins to younger teams, younger sailors. Lovely welcome for Romain now.
Et mesdames et messieurs, s'il vous plaît, il est là, il est avec nous, Yannick Bestaven.
And indeed then Yannick Bestaven on stage.
Merci de la présence ici de Patricia Brochard, présidente de Sodebo, Lionel Parisé, au nom de la mairie des Sables d'Olonne, chargé du nautisme, qui représente M. Yannick Moreau, maire des Sables d'Olonne et président de l'agglomération des Sables d'Olonne, et Florence Pinault, qui représente M. Alain Leboeuf, président
two skippers, Romain Attanasio taking 14th and enjoying his return into the Sables d'Olonne channel for the third successive time. A little bit contrasting with Yannick Bestaven, who's done 3 Vendée Globes and won one. Abandoned twice, and this time making it all the way from South America to arrive and complete his solo round the world trip. So that's all we have time for at the moment. Join us again. Our next lives, we'll have lives for all the skippers depending on the channel times. Next in, should be Damien Sagan, Alan Rura, Benjamin Ferry, and indeed probably Tanguy Turquet. 2 matches still going on, so do keep following the race, and we'll speak to you and see you for our next channel, whoever that is, but it'll be tomorrow at some point. Thank you so much for joining us.